uh, here in this part of Britain was inhabited by France, and this part was inhabited by Germany. Now, that combination resulted in one single language. This is English that I was talking about. This is British English because we are in Britain. Now English then moved to America, the United States. So they were in interaction with some Amerindians. Native people. This was also a combination similar to German and French. Now English was similar to America because of the American mixture. These two mixed up and they led to something called American English. As a result, we have British English and American English. They are pretty similar, but yet they have some very recognizable differences. This lesson is going to talk about what are some of those differences. Forget the H here. Okay. Now we do a quick warm up. We're going to answer these questions. We need to look at each of these sentences and see if they're American or British. So, Lauren, please open up your microphone and tell me if shall I open the door for you? Is it American or British?
I think it's maybe British.
Okay. It doesn't have to be correct. We're just taking a
Or
guess. So, very good. Now let's look at this one. He's taking a shower. Is that American or British?
I think it's um American.
American? Okay. It's a good guess. So, this one. France have won the World Cup.
Price have won the World Cup. I think is um maybe American or British. I'm not sure.
If you had to pick
I
one.
think is is I think it's British.
British? Okay. Let's go to British. Now, this one. I'm not hungry, I just ate.
American, I think.
Not hungry, I just ate.
Oh, I not.
Kind of sounds American. Okay, let me just see if Aurelia is connected. No. So, yeah, you were right. It was a guess, but you did very well. This is British. This is American. This is British, and this is American. We're gonna see that the explanation of why is that in just a moment. So, please close your microphone again.
Okay, teacher.
Thank you very much. Now, this is the grammar explanation. When we're talking about British and American, the main difference between British and American English is pronunciation. That is the most valuable resource where you're gonna find this is British and this is American. But there's also some grammar. And here, some words are also different in each variety of English. and there are also a few differences in the way they use grammar. Here are 5 of the most common grammatical differences between British and American English. So this lesson is gonna be basically about grammar and the grammar differences we have between American and British. So let's start. First one is present perfect and past simple. So in British English, people use the present perfect to speak about a past action that they consider relevant to the present. So let's write here. British, they use present perfect. That's what perfect. That's what that paragraph is talking us about. Whereas the present perfect can be used in the same way in American English, but people often use the past simple when they consider the action finished. This is especially common with the adverbs like already, just, and yet. So in America, people are going to use simple past or past simple. It's just the same. That is the main difference between these two. Also, if you find adverbs like already, just, and yet, well, we're gonna use past simple for that. That is the main difference. Let's look at some examples. So in British English, we can say he isn't hungry. He has already had lunch. Has already had. Have you done your homework yet? Have you? And yes, I've just finished it. I've. So all of these are present perfect. Now, American English. He isn't hungry. He already had lunch. Had. Did you do your homework yet? Did you? And yes, I just finished it. Finished. Here we're talking about simple past. Normally in simple past most verbs end with id. So that is the main difference. Alright, that was the difference between present perfect and simple past. Is that clear for you, Lauren?
I had a question.
Yeah.
You are explaining the difference between present perfect and simple past
Yes.
between British English and American English.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Let me read.
Okay.
Okay. In the first example is he isn't American English. He isn't hungry. He already had lunch.
Yes, that's true.
And
2, 3.
the first is something like that, similar present perfect something of British.
Very good. We're gonna see that in more detail just in one moment. So let's continue.
Okay.
Now, we have also got and gotten. In British English, the past participle of the verb get is got. So British, got. In American English, people say gotten. In American, people say gotten. Note that have got is commonly used in both British and American English. In American English to speak about possession or necessity. Have gotten is not correct here, so we cannot never say have gotten. Alright, so let's continue. These are some examples of that. So we have here number one, you could have got hard. Now 2, he's got very thin. And 3, she has got serious about her career. Notice how we use got, and got when we're talking about British English. But have you got any money? And we've got to go now. Have you got any money? And we got to go now. We're gonna see that in just a second. Now let's look at American English. You could have gotten hard. Notice how now we use gotten instead of got. This is number one. Number 2, he's gotten very thin. Gotten again in American. 3, she has gotten serious about her career. Gotten again. But have you got any money? And we got to go now. So in these two we also use got and got, just as in English. So these are equal. British and American are the same in this way. Okay, now let's look at verbs with collective nouns. So in British, singular or plural verb can be used with a noun that refers to a group of people or things. A collective noun. We use a plural verb when we think of a group as individuals, or a singular verb when we think of the group as a single unit. In American English, a singular verb is used with collective nouns. Note that police is always followed by a plural verb. So, in American, when we're talking about a group, we will always use is. And in British, we can say is or are. So why is that? Let's imagine we have a group. Let's say we have a couple of people here.
Teacher,
Yeah?
I couldn't hear you from the beginning of this presentation. This slide, sorry.
This slide? Okay. Wait, somebody wrote?
Could you repeat me?
Yeah, of course. Okay. This slide. So, let me do it again. Erase. So here we're gonna talk about verb forms with collective nouns. Collective means group. Groups. In British English, a singular or plural verb can be used with a noun that refers to a group of people or things. A collective noun, that is. We use a plural verb when we think of the group as individuals, or a singular verb when we think of the group as a single unit. In American English, a singular verb is used with collective nouns. That means groups. And note that police is always followed by a plural verb. So I was just mentioning, let's try to imagine a group. We have a couple of people. Let's say this is a group. Now we can think of this as individuals and we can take this as a group. Look, if I encircle them, this is now a group, so it's no longer individuals, it's just one group. So here we're saying that when we think of groups as singular units, in American we use is. American. Whereas in British we say are or is. If that's not clear, let me show you an example. So we have British English. My family are visiting from Pakistan. Both of these are right. Good. So now let's look at this one. My team is winning the match. We can also say my team are winning the match. The crew is on the way to the airport. We can also say the crew are on the way to the airport. But, okay, let's leave that for the end. Now let's look at the American. We can say my family is visiting from Pakistan. My team is winning the match. The crew is on the way to the airport. So you notice how in British we're thinking of a group as individuals, whereas in American we think of a group, so a single unit. This is many, and this is one thing. That is why we use the verb is, and here we can say is or are. That is the reason why. Now that was about groups and how we use the verbs is and are. Now let's take a look on have and take. So in British English, the verbs have and take are commonly used with nouns like bath, shower, wash, to speak about washing, and with nouns like break, holiday, rest, to speak about resting. In American English, only the verb take and not the verb have is used this way. So in American, we're gonna use take, whereas in British, we're gonna use have. Alright, let's look at some examples. So in British English, 1. I'm going to have or take a shower. Okay. Let's have a break. We can also say let's take a break. Now let's look at American English. I'm going to take a shower. Good. And number 2, let's take a break. So here we're talking about only take, whereas here we're talking about have or take. Notice how we can use both, but in British we're gonna mostly use have instead of take. Okay, now let's look at shall. So in British English, people often use shall, like shall I, to offer to do something, and shall we, to make a suggestion. It is very unusual for speakers of American English to use shall. They normally use alternatives like should, can I, do you want, would you like, or how about it instead. So let me show you how we do that. It's hot in here. Shall I open the window? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, shall we meet in the cafe at 5 o'clock? And number 3, shall we try that again? So here we're always using shall because this is British English. Now in American English, we don't say shall. We say, can I open the window? It's hot in here. Can I open the window? Number 2, do you want to meet in the cafe at 5 o'clock? So do you want? We don't notice how we don't say shall. And number 3, how about we try that again? So how about, this is very important because British people never use how about. That is an invitation. Okay, so let's make a quick summary. So Lauren, please help me with present perfect and past simple. What is that about? What are the differences between British English and American English that you found there? Please enable your microphone and tell me the differences.
Uh, I don't remember teacher that explained me.
Okay.
Past simple is
Past simple is American.
American.
So, present perfect is
British.
British. Yeah, that's it. Very simple. Now let's look at what was the second one? Wait. Present perfect. Gotten. Okay. So we have got and gotten. What can we say about this? Which one is British and which one is American?
God is British and gotten is American.
Very well. American. Now let's look at number 3. I believe it was take and have. No, collective nouns. Okay. So collective nouns. We have is and are. Or let's make it very small here. So is, when do we use is? With American or British?
In American.
American. Exactly correct. And are, is it American or British?
British.
Okay, very good. Now number 4 is have and take. Yeah. Have and take. So we have and take. Which one is American, Lauren?
American is take.
And have?
And have is British.
British. Very good. Finally, we have number 5. That is gotten. No, wait. Shall. So we say shall, and we can say here can I, or I can say should, or I can even say what about. So which one is which? Lauren.
Could you repeat me, teacher, the question?
Which one is American and which one is British?
Chow is British.
And this one?
American is can, should, and what about? It means instead of using uh, can, should, what about? In British is used shall for
Yes.
for a question.
For an invitation. Invitation. So like, shall we get a coffee? That is, do you want a coffee? Should we get a coffee? What about we get a coffee? That is what it means. So we're gonna do a couple of exercises to practice our knowledge and see how well you do. So let's look at this first sentence right here. Shall we go for a walk? Is this British or American?
British. British.
British, okay. Very good. My computer isn't working. I haven't gotten anything done. Is this British or American?
Okay. Um, American.
Very good, because we have gotten. Gotten will be always American. So good. Now, can I get you a coffee? Is this American or British?
Um, American, I think.
Yeah, very good, because we use can I. So this is American. Now, his family live in Helsinki. American or British?
American.
American, very good. This one is kind of hard because family, we're using it as a single unit. So that's why we use the verb live, which is a singular verb. Very good, Lauren. Now, we'll have a break at 11 o'clock. Is that American or British?
American.
Okay, so let's
Will
look at
have.
have. Do
Will
Americans use have or
have.
take?
Oh, take. Is
Take.
this is British?
So this is British. Very well.
Right.
And she got behind with her work recently. Which one is that one?
Um, British.
British. Why?
Because uh, God.
Mm-hmm. Very good. British. If it was American, what would we say instead of got?
Gotten.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Very well, Lauren. And this is the last one. No. Did you eat yet? Is it American or British?
Mm, American, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have did you. This is simple past. So very good. American, I forgot. And the last one. The children are having a bath. Is that American or British?
Mm, the children having. I think it's British. Having.
Why do you think it's British?
Mm, because having the
Having. Okay. Yeah, we have here have instead of take. Take is American. So we don't use that. So very well. So yeah, that is the last exercise. Let's look at the summary once again. We have uh, some of the differences, grammatical differences between British English and American English is 1. Present perfect and simple and past simple. We also have got or gotten. Number 3 is, are, is with collective nouns. Number 4 is have and take. We use have for British and take for American. And the last one, shall. So this is, I'm pretty sure it's the most simple of them all, because in British we always say shall, whereas in American we say can I, should I, what about, and so on. So Lauren, do you have any questions regarding this lesson?
Yes, teacher. Child um, can be used for instead using will.
Yeah, we can also say will in American, and we can say shall in British. Like, will you get a coffee with me? I can also say shall we get a coffee? It means the same. So with will, that so works. Very good. Any other question, Lauren?
Okay, teacher. Mm, could you uh, no sé cómo, retroceder?
Yeah, go back.
Go back.
Tell me when to stop.
Mm, teacher.
And you just arrived at the beginning.
Again.
Okay. So we have here the historic explanation, the warm up, the grammar explanation, present
Let
perfect
me.
versus past simple.
Um, let me see.
Yeah, of course.
The second paragraph said the present perfect can be used the same way in American English, but people often use the past simple when they consider the action finished. This is especially common with verbs already, just, and yet. This means already, just, and yet is used only in past simple in American English.
Exactly like that. Yeah, that means. That's what it means.
What does mean yet? I
Yet,
confuse some.
todavía. That's what it means. It means todavía. Like, um, I'm hungry. Wait, I'm gonna delete this so it's more clear. So I can say I'm hungry. Yet I haven't eaten. So yet in this case works at todavía, sin embargo, pero. That's how we use yet.
Okay, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Could you pass the other slide? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, con, continue. The the other teacher.
All right. Got
Possession, positions, position or
Possession.
necessity, possession or necessity.
Necessity. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay,
These
teacher.
are the examples.
Okay, teacher, continue the other. This is collecting nouns.
Yes, that means
I
groups. We can have a collective noun like family, uh, my team, buildings, any type of group will work.
note that police
Police is always followed by a plural verb. That means a plural verb is are. So police are good, I can say. Police are bad, anything like that, but we need to use a collective, a plural verb. This is the plural verb are.
teacher. I don't remember the meaning. The word police.
Policía.
Police. Uh,
Mhm.
police.
That's what it means. And so, well, here are the examples of that. My family is visiting from Pakistan.
My team. Okay, teacher. I didn't understand you the expression collecting nouns.
Okay. Now
But
you understand.
just yeah.
I'm glad. That's very good. And
Yes, teacher.
well, have and take, that was an easy one. In American we say take. In British we say have. These are the examples. I'm going to have a shower. Let's have a break. Um, shall. Well, this one is the easiest one because only in English we say shall. These are the examples. It's hot in here. Shall I open the window? Whereas in American, it's hot in here. Can I open the window? The summary. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That was this lesson, Lauren.
Okay, teacher. Yes, I had a doubt about shall
Ah, shall. Okay.
shall.
What is your doubt?
Um, is you told me that shall is used instead of use should, can,
Okay,
or
so
for
we can
make
say
do.
can I, should, what about, will you? That's when the one you said. We can say all of this right here in this line.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, very good, Lauren. So that would be pretty much all for today. I appreciate your attention and thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, teacher. Thank you. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Take care. Bye bye.